come up to you and talk about
No,
it if she wants to.
because okay, but in that scenario, women create and whip themselves up into, you know, a frenzy emotionally. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the time, if you take on someone else's emotional baggage, it can affect your day. Like you said, like if I take on your emotional baggage, it may affect my day. I don't want to do that. So I will go along with my day and I will be okay. And if and when, because we all know what happened prior to it, prior to me going on my day, if and when you're ready to address what went on, then we'll address it. But I'm not going to do, me personally, because I hear what you're saying, I'm not going to do the back and forth. Like, I'm just not going to do it.
So you wouldn't even, like, come, like, say, like, 2 hours and everything's calmed down, you would not address
If you told me to shut up, I must come to you.
No. Like, after I told you to shut up, you walked away, we didn't speak for, like, 2 hours. Then we sat down.
To you.
Well, I think that's like a feminine point of view, though, because like we don't let things go, but men do.
Yeah.
So like we're the ones that hold on to like those 10 things that happen.
I forgot about it.
And so for us, after we get into an argument, you're like, you wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, literally.
That sounds horrible, but like to guys, it's just like different.
A woman will come up to you 2 hours later and be like, so are we not going to speak about what just happened? It's like, yo, like
we've been thinking about this for hours. I've been thinking of what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it.
Well, he's just playing his.
I've been texting my friends asking how I should say it.
Yeah.
And then,
triggered.
And then when you don't restart the conversation, she'll be like, well, that's toxic masculinity. I think you need to be more in touch with your emotions and communicate more.
True.
Which are all these tactics to get you into another silly conversation.
Not necessarily, because obviously, because we're men, we're not allowed to communicate.
Basically,
what do you mean allowed?
But that's the pressure that's been put on you.
Who's stopping you from?
Exactly.
So for
what
example,
are you talking about?
Do you know what it is? I think women communicate differently.
100%.
That's
who's stopping you from? Who's stopping you from?
Exactly.
So for
what are you
example,
talking about?
Do you know what it is? I think it is. I think men and women communicate differently.
100%.
That's what it is. It's like women want men to communicate with them the way they communicate. Do you get what I'm saying? And so when you've been quiet for 3 hours or whatever, and a woman comes to you and says, well, she wants you to communicate with her the way she communicates. Yeah. I don't necessarily communicate like that. So first of all, you're not going to get me to communicate on your terms. You're not going to manipulate the situation. And secondly, if and when it's time for me to communicate, I can talk to you. It's not a problem. Okay, but like I said, if you're communicating to draw me back onto, I've always said this, right? Women have a battlefield and men have a battlefield in the way they communicate. For me, I always tell men, never get drawn onto women's battlefield with an argument, because they argue differently from us and they will drag you onto that battlefield and they will win because you are not well versed in the way in which women argue. I feel like women argue with manipulation, they argue with emotion, and you know, when all else fails, they'll pull the victimhood card.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, if I get drawn into that, they will always win.
I did a video on this. I never really argue with most women. Obviously, I have some female friends that are intelligent and, you know, they think in a logical way, and so we can have these kind of discussions. But 99% of the time I don't, because most of the time, that for me to engage in a discussion with you, I have to believe that you actually want to reach an end. Like you actually, I have to. There's a good faith.
We don't argue for solutions. We want to be heard.
No, she wants to rile you up. That's why she's arguing, innit? So that's why, you know, there will be these share manipulations. There'll be moving the goalposts, because she's not trying to find the answer. She's just trying to like get a rise out of you, and that's fair enough, right? Because you know that's her problem. It's your problem when you let that get to you, and then you start acting feminine, having this tit for tat, and you know, moving into that lane, because you're not going to get anywhere anyway, right? Those conversations never end in, oh, I see your point now, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, those last 2 hours of shouting really kind of, that never happened. 2, she won't respect you because you've been acting like a bitch. You're arguing with her tit for tat. You look like one of her female friends right now. No one respects that.
I get what you're saying, but you're only talking about arguing.
Listen, because women are habitual line steppers, yeah, and a lot of women are habitual lines, and so if they push the line there, they're like, next time I'm and so when you do not give them what they want, right, then essentially
They're gonna do it again.
They'll learn because
because
you're doing it for a reaction. If you don't get the desired reaction,
they will do it again.
You're gonna 100%. You're gonna try something different.
So hold on. So
you're gonna try something different.
I hear what you're saying.
They're gonna try something different.
I get it.
If I can tell you shut up once, I'm gonna tell you shut up again. Because if I tell you to shut up and you just shut up, because to me you shut up, even though you feel like you've just gone quiet and doing what you're doing. That's me.
You won't think that if you actually tried it.
And you know what? I would shut up.
But if you told me to shut up.
Hang on. I would shut up and you'd never see me again.
Okay.
And then, that's my shut up because you tried to push the boundaries twice, yeah? You tried to tell me to shut up. I'll shut up. You won't see me again. And then you're going to be like, calling me on my phone. Oh my God, babe, come back. No, you told me to shut up. I'm gone.
No, I wouldn't
like, there's boundaries you just don't cross.
But
I wouldn't even be that like, it wouldn't necessarily lead to me kind of cutting you off. I would just kind of like lose a bit of respect for you and you'd know. Because I'll kind of look at you like...
But where's the communication?
Someone said checking isn't arguing. Checking is telling a woman what it is.
Exactly.
And if she doesn't want yours...
There's nothing wrong with communication. But you know what's hang on, I'll just say this. The least amount of communication or understanding is done during an argument.
But it doesn't always have to be an argument. I get what you're saying. It doesn't have to be an argument setting.
Sorry, go on, Pearl.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, communication's kind of done via when things are calmed down. Do you know what I'm saying? That's when communication happens.
That makes sense.
We need to have a respectful kind of stable conversation. But if we're at a point where she's saying, shut up, man, or whatever, then, that's funny to me. So I'd look at you as like, and then move on. And I mean, that's just how you hold yourself as a man. If some of you guys hear that and you think that's weak, then it's because you're weak, innit? Because your silence is weak. My silence is strong. I don't have to talk. I don't have to, do this tit for tat thing. We don't have to have this conversation.
Do you know what? I get what...
This idea of like, some women are just, again, it's kind of framing it like you're in a passive seat. Listen, you're here because I allow you to be here, right? No woman can walk into my house. You can't slide into my DMs and be present without me deciding you can be. So this idea that
without engaging in that,
this idea that like disrespect is some kind of fact of the universe is no. When you're around me, you're on borrowed time. You know that. So don't ever speak to me without being cautious of what you say. And that's just how I do things.
$50 super chat. The men who know no, say less, have that look that says, "Are you nuts?" and learn to never tolerate disrespect. Walk away. People are 50.
Like, I tell you what I think it's like. I think it's like for those that did grow up with their fathers, right? There was a look your father could give you, and he didn't have to say anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to say a damn thing. Like, he looked at you like, that look of, are you absolutely crazy? And you be like...
But how many times do you have to do that look?
No, but the thing is, I'm not saying that how many times...
But in a relationship.
Yeah, but the thing is, this might sound controversial, but sometimes women are kind of like children. Do you know what I'm saying? So
humans are like children sometimes.
Yeah, but women... They respond. What was that?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, women respond to that masculine energy.
Everyone does.
Like, yeah, it's
everyone.
True.
This is exactly what you do in a situation with a male peer in the office, etc. I'm really just telling you guys common sense stuff. Like, if you're out here dating women that are disrespectful, telling you to shut up, and that's your reality, and you're out here,
I think it's what you show them,
telling me coping mechanisms to deal with that, then that's on you. But that never happens to me because I don't date rude women. I don't tolerate rudeness.
But hang on one second. What were you saying? You said you were saying.
I'm thinking about, like, men tend to. I feel like you don't tend to do facial expressions and all of these things with your, like, you don't tend to do that and expect us to understand. Not every woman understand. I get it, but not every woman understand it.
Do you know why? Do you know why you do understand it?
I don't like it.
Because you know when you're being disrespectful.
Not even that. No.
And you know when you're pushing the boundary.
I'm thinking of it like, back in the day. I don't know. Well, when I was younger, like, my dad would say, like, he wouldn't even say nothing. If there's something on the floor, he would just look at it, expect me to pick it up. You can communicate with your mouth, say, pick up that thing. Do you get what I mean? Like,
but you knew he was expecting you to pick it up.
Exactly.
You knew you shouldn't have dropped it on the floor, though.
So you heard it, and the fact that you heard it means that you wanted him to repeat himself and say it explicitly verbally because that was a power play
Obviously,
for
I
you,
picked it
right?
up,
It was
but
a
I
power
mean-
play because you wanted to say, can I make you have to tell me what to do before I do it? Even though I know full well what you're saying.
So now we're communicating with facial expressions. That's how we
No, but the thing is, did you know not to? Did you walk, whatever it is that was on the floor? Did you walk past it a couple of times, knowing that you should have picked it up? Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So you already know. That's why I said
Okay,
it's
I hear it, I hear
people already know what they should and should not do. They try to do things for attention, right?
Bro, clock how she did exactly what I told you women do is right. You came out and tried to pretend you didn't and tried to say you should just communicate better. Boys, this is how it works.
You already
This is
knew.
the game. She just told you that she already knew, but
Yeah,
she
you
came out
already
and said you could have just used words.
Why do you want
we
those
know
words?
damn
What do you want
well
them for? And
She
you
would not
already-
have respected them if you would have
She's
been
a
like,
woman.
can you pick that up?
Exactly.
She's a woman, so
Exactly.
she would prefer to say, "Look, could you pick that up?" as opposed to just going.
I don't
you know
care
what
what
I
you
mean? I
prefer.
hate-
This isn't
And I don't
about
care
how
what
you feel.
I don't care what you prefer. Like that's the way it works.
That's
Yeah,
the
but
female
but
response.
the thing is,
And that's a man response.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to understand if you're dealing with a man, right, and you know your men communicate in a certain way. I communicate in a certain way. So if I already know that you know, why do you now want me to acknowledge that I know that you know by verbalizing what you? Let's
Power.
But
You
like,
already know.
If
You
you-
already
if
know
you
what you're doing.
If you know
Ego
that I
and
prefer
power.
it, why are you still doing it?
Nah, I don't give in to that kind of manipulation because that's
No,
manipulation.
no, but all it
Is
is
it?
saying is
Yeah, that's manipulation.
Oh, sorry, I forgot your name. But all you're saying is I would have preferred for someone to have told me, but that's her preference. She would rather words than looks. That's the way it goes.
I don't owe you compliance with what you feel and what you prefer.
Again,
innit?
it's
if
the
you
same
drop
way.
something
It's
and
the
I
same
expect you
way.
to pick
All right,
it up,
cool.
then you should. And if you
It's a
understand
man's
that that's
world.
what I expect,
But then if
you
you're
do.
looking at me like
Actually, a
if
man's
you're
world
looking at me like
for
a
you
piece
to
of
say
shit,
that.
Imagine if you
Thank
went into life
you,
thinking
that's
like
the
this. Imagine if I went into the office and I
It's
just
a
like
man's
let me give
world.
it.
just like
sorry,
expected
hang on.
people to
One
tell
sec.
me things explicitly.
Let me give you a scenario. This is my phone, right? And I put my phone down, and you know you're not supposed to steal my phone, right? And
Okay.
you pick my phone up, and I'm just gonna. You already know. You already know you weren't
yeah,
supposed
but
to take
I
my phone.
already know. If
But
you
why?
turn around and say,
But why
"What
do you
the
need?
fuck?"
Why do you need me to tell you? Hey, that's my phone. Don't pick it up.
Because we're women.
What's that?
Because we're women and we're addicted to attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a power play.
Right.
Ego.
Okay, that went a bit.
Look,
And that's why they hate it when you're silent and you walk away.
yeah, because if you take away, I genuinely believe if you take away attention from women,
women,
like, that is the number one
they're done.
control move, and
Yep.
it's happened to me before too. I'm not
Yeah,
special.
but I think it can also be.
I'm not special. Okay, I have a
We're gonna get this.
question that I was gonna. Do you